Welcome back inside the Brogan HILLMAN show, and today we had the very last draft video before the actual draft. It's the day of the draft, and I will be live today at 5 p.m. to be going over some pre-draft stuff and just talking draft with it. Whoever's in the chat, you guys want to pop in, and just talk, whatever. I will be in the chat, just chatting it up, doing whatever. But before we get into the video, Proverbs 17:17, and it goes, "A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for a time of adversity." Surround yourself with people that will always be there for you and that will always love you unconditionally and will always support you. Not people that'll break you down or make fun of you when times get tough or you make a wrong decision, you make a wrong move. But they're friends that are there to guide you, support you, and always be there for you with all that you say and do. And let's get straight into the video. We have 5 hidden gems, 5 sleepers in this year's 2024 NFL draft. I am very excited for this video because I have some names. I have been working on a sheet. I have been scouting. I have been doing all this, making up my own comparisons. I am excited for this. Number 5 is Malik Washington. Not really that hidden of a gem. He's a 3rd round projection. He's a transfer from Northwestern, obviously, to Virginia, where he just had an insane season. 110 receptions, 1,426 yards for 9 touchdowns. Those are some insane. I mean, he's almost at 1,500 yards, just insane receiving numbers. Wide receiver 1, favorite target by a mile. His production was insane at Virginia this year. 10 out of his 11 games, he had 100+ receiving yards. That's like unheard of in college football. I mean, unless you're like Maserati Marv, Roma Dunzi, or Malik Washington. He's putting up great numbers. He's able to make these absurd catches. He's able to rotate his body, do all this. He's built like a running back. So once he gets the ball in his hands, the run after catch is very, very special. Just bouncing off tacklers, making men miss. He's a little shorter. He's on the shorter side for sure. He's 5'8", but we've seen players like Jakeem Grant like excel in the league as a punt return or return specialist. I could definitely see Malik Washington on a return team. Tyreek Hill's not even the tallest himself. I'm not comparing him to Tyreek Hill, but Malik Washington is a guy that knows how to get production, knows how to get it done. Very, very good utilizing his side. He knows his strengths. He knows all of this, and he is very, very reliable. He has great hands. My pro comp was Zay Flowers. His 40 time is just 0.05 slower than Zay Flowers was. He's 1 inch shorter and he's a little heavier than Zay Flowers, but the vitals are right there in range. The 40 time is not far off at all. Zay Flowers ran a 4.42. Malik Washington ran a 4.47. They are very, very close in comparison with those attributes, and just like Malik Washington, Zay Flowers is very, very good with the ball in his hands. Run after catch and all of this, they both excel in run after catch. That's why I feel Zay Flowers is a perfect comparison, and that's why I have Malik Washington at number 5.
There's a young man who has a lot of friends still on this Oregon side.
The 4th player we have on this list is Kingsley Suamataia. He is a tackle out of BYU. He's a projected 3rd rounder, another projected 3rd rounder. That's why these 2 are at the bottom of the list. He's 6'6", 325, and he can play both left and right tackle. Right tackle, he excels on run blocks, on just protecting the run. Left tackle is pass blocking. He's very good when it comes to pass block on the left side. Don't ask me why. He just excels in those 2 different ways, and he is ambidextrous when it comes to playing on that line. Very, very good. He's scary athletic too. Saw the clip of him jumping out of a swimming pool. Also, he ran a 5.0440. It's not a useful stat for a lineman, but just knowing he's that fast is scary. Freshman All-American 2nd team, which is a great award out of BYU. I mean, he's just good. He's really, really athletic, got very strong hands, able to manipulate those defenders and just overall provide great protection. We saw him protect Keaton Slovis all year this year, a quarterback that's actually in this draft class, and he's just a beast. He's a freak of nature, and his pro comp is Penei Sewell. They both played tackle, both sides of the line. Penei Sewell went in. I think he got drafted as a right tackle, got shifted to the left, or that could be reversed. He was college as a left tackle, got shifted to right. One of the two, and he's within 1 inch of Penei Sewell. I think he's 1 inch taller than Penei Sewell, and he is 10 pounds heavier than Penei Sewell. So it's a great comparison. I mean, it's right there. They don't lie. They go hand in hand. They're both ambidextrous when it comes to the line. Their vitals, their height, their weight are that close. It just makes sense for a pro comp, and they're both very, very good freak of nature athletes. Penei Sewell also today just got signed. Was it a 4-year, $110 million deal? Highest paid deal for an offensive tackle ever. I think offensive lineman ever. So give it up for Penei Sewell. That's great for him. We see what he's doing over there with Detroit. And Kingsley Suamataia wants to replicate that success in the NFL, and I have him at 4. Number 3, we have Austin Booker, an edge out of Kansas. He's a Minnesota transfer, originally transferred over to Kansas for his last season. This guy is a freak of nature. He's 6'6", 245, but his 40 time is not reflecting of that. His 40 time is a 4.79. That's why it was difficult to find a comp for him, because everyone, you know, he doesn't weigh as much. He's 6'6", 245, but he just doesn't have a fast time that you would think he would have with those vitals. But it's all right. He's very, very patient when it comes to being in the pocket. That's what he excels at. He doesn't just jump the gun, whiff tackles. He's patient. He lets the play set up and he goes and makes a play. He's very, very good in that regard. Big 12 all first team this season. Big 12 newcomer of the year as well. Again, he was a transfer into the Big 12. His explosiveness into the backfield, even though his speed isn't that great, his explosiveness is elite. He gets into that backfield very, very fast using his 4.79 speed that he has. He just knows how to use it, and he's a sure tackler. He does not whiff tackles. He does not let people run by him, and he's a very, very hard hitter. If you let him come catch you on a stray, be ready for your lights to be knocked out. He hits hard. He gets in. He hits with authority. I mean, he has 8 sacks this season, 2 forced fumbles, gets his hand on the ball, knocks it free, makes plays, 56 total tackles with 40 of those being solo. Just great numbers there in the stat department. I mean, he is just a dog that knows how to use his size, knows how to use everything to his advantage, and makes stuff happen. That's why I like Austin Booker here at 3, and whatever team drafts him is a very, very lucky team. He's a projected 3rd rounder as well. Again, that's why he's still at number 3, but these top 2 that we're going to crack into, you'll see why they are hidden gems. But Austin Booker, projected 3rd rounder, and I have him at number 3.
He's gonna go all the way! Touchdown, UNH!
Getting into the gems of this draft class. You guys have probably seen this guy through the combine process, through the scouting process. Dylan Lobb out of New Hampshire. I mean, he is a beast. He's a projected 6th rounder. I mean, he's out of New Hampshire FCS school. 5'10", 207. This guy is a freak. And I looked at his stats this season. I was like, whoa, his stats don't seem to be up as much. 158 carries, 715 yards, 9 touchdowns. That's nothing super special at the FCS level. Why is he considered here? Why is he so dominant? Why is he a standout in his play field? But then I look over to my right on the ESPN stat sheet and I see his receptions, his receiving stat, 68 receptions, 700 yards, 7 touchdowns, averaging 10 yards per reception. I mean, the all-purpose yards are there. The all scrimmage yards, that's like right there. That's 1,400, almost 1,500 all scrimmage yards, 16 total touchdowns on the year. He doesn't just do it in the rush department, he does it in the receiving department. This is a guy you could shift out to slot receiver for a play if you want to shift him back to the backfield, have him in motions, have him running in between, all of this, all of that. Reminds me of a Deebo Samuel. That is not his pro comp for me, but he reminds me of a Deebo Samuel a lot. He leads the nation in all purpose yards per game, which is just insane. Again, small school guy out of New Hampshire. He was a unanimous All-American FCS 2022 and 2023, both years unanimous, which is just an insane stat. And again, he's got that receiver running back prototype. He can catch balls out of the backfield and make men miss, go running up field, or you can just hand it up straight up up the gut and he'll make men miss. He'll go make explosive plays, make big plays. Very, very good. And my pro comp is Christian McCaffrey with this guy. You might have seen it coming, but it is Christian McCaffrey. He's within 0.05 on that 40-yard dash. He also weighs only 3 pounds less and he's 1 inch shorter. His vitals are hand in hand with Christian McCaffrey. His 40 speed is almost hand in hand with Christian McCaffrey, and just the way he's able to play out of the backfield, get receptions, make men miss, little swing passes, maybe run a little route tree, it's just identical to Christian McCaffrey. And I feel like this is a guy that won't have immediate success, but he is a good 3rd down back and he's a great option to have in your backfield. And I feel like you should look out for Dylan Lobb throughout this draft process. That's why I have him at number 2.
Down over the top looking end zone. It is caught. What a catch.
The number 1 hidden gem sleeper that I have in this year's draft class is Jalen Coker, a receiver out of where? Holy Cross. He would be I think the 2nd ever player drafted at Holy Cross, the 1st since like 1983. That's just insane stuff. Projected 7th rounder, of course. 6'3", 213. He has size. He has the speed too. His speed is not that bad. He runs like I was thinking it was like a 4.53, if I'm not mistaken, maybe a 4.57, something in that range. He has the highest vert in all of the draft with a 42.5 inch vertical, and he also set the program record for most career touchdowns and most career receiving yards at Holy Cross. His career receiving yards were 2,715 with 31 career touchdowns. He also set the single season touchdown record this past season with 15 touchdowns in 2023. This guy had a nose for the end zone in 2023. If you turn on his highlight reel, it's head top after head top after head top. He's a big physical guy. He excels on the fade route. He excels going over people and on these goal line fades. You throw it up in the goal line, again, he'll go over someone, make the play. He'll go around someone, make the play. He shifts his body body, even with that big frame, to be able to make the play, score, just succeed in whatever battle he's in, whatever one-on-one. He is very, very good when it comes to the open field and one-on-ones. His run after the catch is not the craziest, and he's not the most athletic guy, but for his value in the 7th round, he is a guy that I would go out and get for sure. Out of Holy Cross, again, just like the second ever player drafted out of Holy Cross, he is very, very good. I think very overshadowed throughout this whole process. And I have a very interesting pro comp for him. It's Gabe Davis. He's 1 inch taller than Gabe Davis. He's 12 pounds lighter, and he has a 0.0340 difference. I believe he does run a 4.57. That's, I mean, for his height and his weight, a 4.57 is a very respectable 40 time, especially with the type of receiver he is. He's a jump ball deep threat when it comes to just going over DBs. Jalen Coker is a guy that you need to look out for in the very last round, maybe even a Mr. Irrelevant type situation. Jalen Coker, honestly, for me, is my gem of this draft class, my hidden gem of this draft class, and he's just a guy that I would not overlook. If you have a late pick and you're looking down the board, Jalen Coker's there at receiver out of Holy Cross, I'm taking him off the board. He is an athlete. He is very, very good, and with that value, it's just so hard to pass up. Again, he's an elite route runner too. We see his route running. He breaks, he snaps these routes like no one's business, and he can also get open, go over defenders if he's not open. He's just overall a very, very underutilized guy, overlooked again throughout this whole draft process, and Jalen Coker I have as my #1 hidden gem in this year's draft class 2024. If you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure to like, subscribe, almost at 1,000, share with a friend, but most importantly, keep God #1. I love you all. It's been the Brogan Hillman Show, and I'm out.